Gentlemen, we got ourselves a doozy. Today, I'm excited to have this conversation. MK1 Invasions versus Street Fighter 6 World Tour, and which is better? Now, this is more of just, I wouldn't say I'm not going to choose one or the other, but I mean, I like Street Fighter 6 World Tour better, but still, I want to break down reasons behind all this, and just for the fun fact of like, man, we would really be able to benefit this from MK1 and the idea behind it, man. And let me tell you, we just hopped off Kombat League for like 4 or 5 hours straight on stream. Man, it was sweaty as hell. We played nothing but Johnny Cages. We played nothing but freaking Quan Chis and Raidens. And so I think y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Anyways, if y'all want to, y'all can come through on Twitch, man. Make sure to drop a like on the video. It does help out. Let's get into this conversation. My personal opinion, of course, when I look at MK1 Invasions and Street Fighter 6 World Tour, I said I like Street Fighter 6 World Tour way more. I mean, there's just a lot of reasoning why. But I mean, there's a lot of aspects as to how MK1 can improve on this, right? Again, we got to give them both props for trying to expand your typical 2D type fighting game. You know, you got to give them props, like, right? When it comes down to the three-headed monster in fighting games, it's always Tekken, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. And you gotta just respect the fact that at least they're trying to bring in way more cinematics. They got way more modes now. Like, I love this. I'm a old ass person. I'm a boomer who was born when these games first came out in the early 90s, man. And just to see the improvements now is so fresh. Regardless of what I like more, it's still the same thing. I want to know anyone who likes MK1 Invasions better. That's probably gonna be a hot ass take. I definitely want to see your explanation on that though. Let's just break it down, the reasoning why MK1 Invasions, even though I gave you my answer already, I mean, this is just more of a conversation. It's not just like, you know, and the reasoning making this video too is I want to hear y'all's thoughts, right? MK1 Invasions, it seems like I've released a short on this also, that they had the right idea when they did like Armageddon, Deception, and they also did Shaolin Monks, right? Those types of open, I think the closer one was, in my opinion, was more Shaolin Monks, but again, you gotta think of like Conquest and all that. When Mortal Kombat did that, I feel like they're right around the corner of like really executing that at the highest level, like bringing that type of Pokemon RPG level up type essential or Final Fantasy. But for some reason, they just went back to it. They just kind of got rid of it all. I don't know, because it takes way, well, I'm not a developer, obviously, and I know it takes way more time to create those types of open world scenarios. So, or like, just, I don't know if they just curved away from it. They just felt like they didn't have the budget for it. Bringing back MK1 Invasions now kind of makes another attempt at it, which when we first saw it, we thought it was going to be kind of an open world at least, but it didn't, man. They didn't capitalize on it, and I don't know why. And I wish they really did, because, man, there was just so much that MK1 Invasions could be doing right now. MK1 in totality lacks content. They have a lot of issues right now. It's an incomplete game, and I still love the game. Regardless, I still love Mortal Kombat. I'm a Mortal Kombat stan. I'll always play the game. It's fun. The gameplay in MK1 is through the roof. Everything around it is whack. MK11's gameplay was whack, but everything surrounding it was through the roof great. And that's what sucks. We got the opposite in back-to-back games. So hopefully, I wish these two games like fused and we got something like phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like including Crypt and all that stuff. Crypt, along with an open world, along with classic towers, and along with the actual cinematic with DLC story expansion. That would be a match made in heaven, but we don't have that right now. Invasions gives us that RPG aspect. With the character being so damn small, I already can draw one conclusion, and I said this tons of times on stream, and I feel I'm gonna just die on this hill. They did that because they knew they were gonna be releasing on Switch probably well before the final decision was even made, right? They had it in mind, like, we got to get this on Switch. I don't know if it's just for more sales, or they knew they were gonna launch without crossplay at first. Something was bugging those like probably first week sales where they're just like, we gotta get this on Nintendo Switch. So that full-on viewer, like the way it views on MK1 Invasions, like a little game board, a very small person as a game board, moving around RPG, like old school RPG, like game board, flat type, real linear type situations. There's sometimes you got little curves in there every once in a while, little mazes. It's mostly repetitive for the most part. Invasions giving us technically a snooze fest, at least in my opinion. You can go ahead and really write your opinion about it. But giving us a massive snooze fest just wasn't the right move. I think they half-assed it, and then they held back on it so they could release on Switch, which is crazy. I disagree on that. I think Switch should, if they were gonna get their own version, I wish like last gen consoles would have got their own version so we could have more casual players playing this game. Not everybody has a new console still to this day, and having a last gen console would help a lot more casuals just play, and the matchmaking and all that would be a lot better. Content wise and grinding ways, it just becomes very repetitive, and it was something that I still don't enjoy to this day. Like season 3 has been a snooze. I've been playing Kombat League way more, even though it's Sub-Zero season, which brings a lot more people to Kombat League and Invasions this season due to them grinding for those skins. I still don't highly agree with Invasions in totality. I wish they would have taken where I'm about to transition right now, which is the World Tour approach to Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 had progression, the real RPG essence, kind of like that open world Pokemon, like the way you'd get like in Pokemon like Scarlet right now or whatever. You just get like a huge open world facet with fast traveling. You get replayability. You can literally go back to the tournaments. They have updates, especially as they're releasing new characters. Now they add them into World Tour. So you can always keep playing this at the highest level, even when you max out everything. There's also hidden things to go find in World Tour, your customization of your clothes, who you are, what you do, the voices, just everything. And even that wasn't even like fully done to the max. This is a Street Fighter 3rd mode. Like they didn't even really go all in with it. And for them to be a fighting game using a 3rd mode and making World Tour this good, my mind was blown. And then on top of the gameplay being real good, Street Fighter 6 gameplay is incredible. And I was just like, man, this whole game is just off the hook, man. When I first started streaming again, Street Fighter 6 brought me back to gaming and streaming. I had took a long time off of gaming and streaming because like I didn't want to, because Warzone 2 was out and I hated Warzone 2. And like other games were just kind of boring to me at the moment. I feel like gaming was kind of like in a weird essence of trying to make a comeback. 2023 was really good for gaming, but like I wasn't streaming all of 2023. I came back towards like that back end of 2023. And I was just like, man, like nothing really brought me back. And I saw Street Fighter 6. I was like, I'm going to give it a try. And ironically, it was so weird because I didn't even know it was going to happen. Ironically, around the corner, like Mortal Kombat 1 was already on the way. And then I heard about it and I was like, oh, snap. Like, well, I could play Street Fighter 6 as a filler. I was kind of late to Street Fighter 6. So I think I was like a month or two late to Street Fighter 6. And then I was playing that as a filler game until Mortal Kombat 1 came out. And man, Street Fighter 6 kept me hooked. I started streaming every day. I started building like a fam. I started building our community. And it was just so cool. Like everything with Street Fighter, the music and the identity that they chose with hip hop, like all this stuff just going down in World Tour. Like what I said, like all the progression, all the learning, all the customization of your movesets. You can have all your favorite fighters' moves within your custom character. Your favorite drip, like just all this cool stuff that really matches who you are. The story at least had somewhat like acting, right? They had like actual live acting. You're not just reading text and caption all day like you're playing like an old school RPG game. So they did actually have voice acting lines going on in there. And it wasn't the best story of the World Tour, but it was still hella fun. And I wish MK1 could have done that, man, because you get to practice with some of the legends in there in Street Fighter 6. You get to visit them, you get to hang out with them, you get to adopt their moves, learn their styles, you get to fight them later as much as you want. And training with them is so fun, especially as you get to higher levels and you just keep training with them. And it's just fun. It's at the highest level. Yeah, it's all AI, but it's still fun. Like it can get sweaty at times, man. And I'm just like, damn, like I wish MK1 would have taken that route, because that would have been so cool to have that as an additional option with additional content. And I'm saying, like, I know that this isn't easy to make, but Street Fighter 6 knocked it out the park in making a fighting game like this. They don't deserve it. I mean, I don't think they really, I wouldn't say deserve, they're underrated. Like they're not getting the love that I feel that they should still be getting for making a fighting game this good in World Tour. And again, it was still flawed, but man, it was a million times better than MK1 Invasions, man. Let's just be real. MK1 Invasions, I'm like, dang, man, if they would have done this through the, it was something that MK1 is not really appreciating right now, that they don't want to be pushing too much content. I feel like the content rollout has been a lot slower or a little bit lazier. I don't know what it is, because I love MK1, the gameplay for sure, but something around it, like everything surrounding it is just not great right now. It was very incomplete, and it sucks because what Street Fighter 6 World Tour does, and I play these games back to back, like what I said, Street Fighter 6 brought me back to gaming and streaming and having the love for it, and fighting games back to back, you know, releasing is so cool. And playing MK1 right now, and Tekken's right around the corner. It's just cool to have these games like kind of like back to back to back where they're still kind of fresh. Because Street Fighter 6 was out for a few months, then MK1 came out. Now MK1's been out for a few months, now Tekken's coming out. And that's so good for the fighting game community. If you're good at all these three universally, man, you are in heaven right now playing these games. And I want to see how Tekken looks though also. But anyways, Street Fighter 6 World Tour, bro. I just wish they could have like been like, hey MK, y'all should try this. You know what I mean? I mean, MK1 really needs a great open world game, and we were close to it. Deception Armageddon and Shaolin Monks, it was getting there. It just didn't capitalize, man. They kind of reverted back a little bit, kind of held back. And I think that was because of the graphics and the performance of like a Nintendo Switch. And I think they had that in mind too. Y'all gotta let me know what's up though, man. What do y'all like better, MK1 Invasion, Street Fighter 6 World Tour? This was more of just like of a discussion. I already gave y'all the answer at the beginning. I like Street Fighter 6 World Tour, of course. It was so fun. But I'm an MK1 stan. I'm a huge fan. I'm biased. I always love MK1. But y'all let me know what's up and leave your reasoning. Leave what MK1 you think like they should be adding. And just everything. Just everything. This is not just a game comparison. This is more of just like their open world or their additional mode comparison, man. Y'all let me know what's up, man. I appreciate y'all. Peace.